Okay, this episode of Jocks and Jills is brought to you by SharkNinja. We're a big fan of all three of their brands, Shark Beauty, Shark Home, and Ninja Kitchen. They're a proud founding partner of the PWHL, and today we want to tell you about the Ninja Creamy 7-in-1 ice cream maker. Turn almost anything into ice cream, sorbet, milkshakes, and more. Create completely customizable treats. With the Ninja Creamy, you can have total control over your ingredients for low sugar, keto, dairy-free, and vegan options. And Tessa, the reason I'm so excited about the Ninja Creamy today is because someone in our YouTube comments left us the unicorn poops recipe. Thank you very much,
toots,
Johnny.
not poops. I love that. Unicorn poops. We'll call it that, but it's unicorn toots.
We are having me and Tessa had the giggles today really bad coming into recording the show. And that's how I open it up with unicorn poops instead of unicorn toots. I'm not helping the cause right now.
Johnny
Thank
77.
you so much, Johnny77 on YouTube. It's vanilla cake batter ice cream with a pink frosting ripple and rainbow chocolate chips.
That's what those are in there.
Pause on those. You can make one up for little Annie and Theo, and they'd be so excited at home.
You know what gets me? Like 7-in-1 ice cream. Like, what are the 7? Like, what is the 7? 7 what? Like, what 7 other utilities can you use outside of ice cream?
Well, let's try a name. Slushy.
Oh.
Slushy.
Sorbet.
Sorbet.
Ice cream.
Yeah.
Milkshakes.
Smoothie.
It's 5. We're missing 2.
I don't know. We'll let you know next week, guys.
Yeah.
We love the Ninja Creamy. We're really excited to get our paws on one this summer. And we love the whole crew at SharkNinja. We love all the products from Shark Beauty, Shark Home, and Ninja Kitchen. They're our presenting sponsor here at Jocks and Jills. All right, welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. You've heard we have the giggles, so we're all going to try to stay calm and get through this giggly episode 44 of the Jocks and Jills podcast. We're not going to have a traditional episode today where Tess and I do headlines, then we have a really big, long interview at the end. We are so excited for the games this weekend, Tessa. We're not going to have a full interview. We're going to have a couple really, really good shorter interviews that we're excited about. We're going to talk expansion. Obviously, everybody's hungry to talk a little bit about expansion. And we're going to talk about the crazy weekend to come because, oh my gosh, so much
we got to set it
on
up
the line this Saturday in the PWHL. But first, what's up with you? How's you?
Well, I'm good. My Shirley girlies and I had a little takeover tour of our own, if you will.
Yep.
We went to a Toronto Scepters game. The CJ night is what I'm going to call it. But we went to the Scepters game. We had a fantastic evening. Buckles was I brought Buckles into the mix because everyone's like, oh, we need drop-ins or whoever. And I was like, Buckles, do you think you'd want to? And she was like, yeah, I'd probably be interested. And it's a very tough group to get in with because we all know each other. We all played with and against each other in university and afterwards in the CWHL. A lot of them played together since they were kids, so it's a really tough group to get in. Like, I only got in because they were really short one night, and Sammy Joe Small called me and said, can you sacrifice this evening and come play with us? And I hadn't played in 14 years. I hadn't played in a long time.
This last season, right?
Yeah, this past season. Yeah, basically last season, you're right. And so I did. And anyway, so I brought Buckles along for the mix, and just I tried to pre-warn her, listen, there's some crazy, we're all crazy and we like to have a good time. To start it off, my friend Chrissy,
so funny,
got her niece to drive her from Georgetown to my house where we were going to Uber from here to the GO station. Okay. And try and get on this 4:30 train.
Okay.
So waiting for Ed to get home. Ed finally gets home. We're out the door. We're in our Uber. We look at traffic. Oh my gosh, we're going to be 2 minutes late. I'm like, we're going to miss it. So we tell the guy, she's got a badge, drive, we'll get you off.
Oh,
take the 407. We don't care. Get us there. And he's like, okay. I'm like, I will pay your ticket. If you get us there, I will tip you. This guy gets us there, Julia, with 1 minute to spare.
Wow.
But we were waiting to turn left to get into this place. And the person in front of us needed no cars to be on the road in order to turn left. So we're freaking out. I'm like, do I get out and run? What do we do? And anyways, the person finally turns. We get in. The second we open our doors to run to the train, it starts taking off. So we had to go have a beer and wait for the 5 o'clock train. So I had to tell Buckles, hey man, don't get on the train that I told you to get on. Wait for one more. Buckles, pop in because I want to hear about your experience at this game, meeting them Shirley girlies.
Yeah, I really
How are
do,
you?
Actually. You kind of made a BFF.
Oh, did I ever? Did I ever? Yeah, no, seriously, Tessa, you prepped me, but there's only so much you could prep me for. And once I got into that mix, it just is an incredible group. I was so honored to be hanging out with you guys.
Started on the train with our girl Chrissy, who Buckles thought, so Chrissy and I sat across the aisle from each other because they were the only seats that were open, and Buckles joined Chrissy and the other two people that happened to be sitting in the foursome. And Buckles thought that they were a part of the group as well, and they were her friends because of how well Chrissy knew them from the 7 minutes we had spent sitting next to them.
Because like I sit down and she's just chatting it up with these people next to us, and I was like, oh, like maybe it's like her daughter or something. So I'm like chatting with them, and then she's like, oh, what are your guys' names? And
That is
like,
so
oh
much
my
funnier
gosh.
knowing the culture of like the GO train in Toronto, because if somebody starts talking to me on the GO train, like I might pull out my pepper spray. I'm not expecting anyone to talk to me.
Not Chrissy. She wouldn't let you.
No.
Then Buckles asks her, she's like, so what's your nickname? She's like, Chrissy. And Buckles is like, well, that kind of sucks. That's so that was it like 7 minutes later she came back and told you?
Yeah. She told me her nickname. She was just like, call me Tits. So that was her nickname, and I think it's caught on amongst the group. Tessa, I don't know.
It has.
Okay.
Yeah.
She just came up with that for herself, like off the cuff.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so beauty. And then I got initiated into the group and got a shirt. So you know what? Such a great night.
Unreal. Can you give us like, I feel like you had the clearest eyes at the game. Like I was with you guys at the bar beforehand. You guys know me. I went home and had a 2-screen night. Both Toronto teams were playing. I couldn't pick one over the other. I went home and watched the boys team lose and the girls team win, which is really nice. So I didn't get a look at Tessa actually in the venue, but I saw they got on the jumbotron.
What is that?
Tron.
We got on the Jumbotron. We weren't ready. I asked the in-house, let us know when we're going to be on the Jumbotron. We all want to get out there and like chug beers. And sure enough, I go to get another drink and to take a pee, and I come out of the bathroom and Buckles is like, I don't want this to ruin your night, but I recorded it. I'm like, what? She's like, they got on the Jumbotron. I was like, oh, come on. Like, that's all I wanted the whole night.
Hey, you still got on the Jumbotron.
And it was kind of perfect though, because I was obviously waiting at the bar. There was only a few places where the girls would be, and that was one of them. And I got the video with like all the liquor in the background and them up on the Jumbotron, like. And I was like, honestly, it's kind of perfect. This is right.
It was great. And it was cool because one of the girls couldn't make it. So I invited a friend that I grew up playing hockey with from Sudbury, Faye. Yeah, my friend Faye came. So she got into the mix as well. She was like, these girls are great. We're all trying to drag her in to come out and play. Anyways, we got Buckles probably just the right amount of feeling good that she agreed to play roller hockey with us on Wednesdays. So
guys,
That's
I've never played
crazy,
before.
Buckles.
So if anybody has any tips for me, please send any along.
Where all the padding? I never played roller padding. Like that's all I never played. I don't have any sort of real insight, but just where all the padding. Remember I told you about that one time I played and I was so bruised up after?
Yeah. It's
Seriously.
fun. It's a blast.
Yeah. I'm
Game was
delusional.
over. Everyone was like, yeah, we're going to go home. Buckles and I were like, no, we're not.
Where'd you guys go?
The ladies had a good chat with Mrs. Malte.
Oh.
They met Mrs. Malte post game.
I wanted to just say you went to Paris, Texas or something like that.
No, we're not that cool. We did not. We went back to the bar that we started at to harass the bartender. He regrets that. He was like, yeah, you girls should come back after the game. We're like,
He was expected to see your asses.
Literally, we roll up to the bar and he put down like 8 glasses of water. We're like, what, man? Come on.
Sir.
Yeah, I am 40.
Us?
Okay. Yeah. And then shout out to a huge Jocks and Jills fan for buying us a round of shots. Dickie, thank you. Appreciate you.
Oh, that's nice.
Julia's, no, not Julia. Buckles, that was your first Burt Reynolds or no?
Yeah, I've never experienced it. And then I had 2 of them since one of our teammates couldn't.
Sam.
So that's what it's about. It's being team
you're
first.
acquainted.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's awesome, Buckles.
Glad
great
you
night.
survived.
On that Tuesday
did I ever?
in
And I
Toronto
can't wait
overall.
for more of those nights. So
Yeah.
okay,
We've been waiting
I'll
on
see
the
you.
Shirley Girlies to get out to a Toronto Scepters game. Thanks, Buckles. We'll talk to you in a few minutes. Buckles was also my Uber driver this morning. She was multifaceted on the Jocks and Jills podcast. She has a lot of roles.
Yeah.
So the Shirley's Girlies took over the Toronto Scepters game. We did a little media takeover tour today, Tessa.
We did.
Shout out to everyone at the PWHL for setting that up for us.
Mandy, thank you.
Mandy and everyone. Like, we had so much fun today. We got to go. We had so many highlights of the day. We spoke to Forbes and Sportskita together. I'm really excited for that one to come out. I'm such
Me
a big
too.
fan of.
Yeah, Katie was
Together.
cool, man.
So cool.
Yeah.
We also got to go on CBS. Like, somehow,
Guys.
and we're Canadian, right?
Yeah.
So actually, you lived in the States, so you're probably more familiar with American TV than I am. But like, CBS has been more on my radar this week than it ever has been in my entire life because of that extremely viral Bill Belichick interview from over the weekend, where his girlfriend was kind of his girlfriend who was younger than my youngest sister, who's 23 years old, is running the show for like one of the most serious, notoriously serious guys in the history of pro sports. And somehow we get invited to go on CBS mornings the same week, Tessa. Like, what?
With the same interviewer.
With the same reporter.
Yeah.
You guys know me and Tessa. Like, we could not let that go unmentioned. Like, the stars, the universe aligned for us, and we were not going to let the universe down. So here's a quick excerpt from our appearance on CBS Mornings.
How did the friendship begin, though? Because sometimes reporters and the people that they're reporting on, the athletes, Tess, aren't always copacetic on every point. So how did this kick off?
Yeah, I don't know if we want to talk about that. No, just kidding. We're kidding.
Tessa, I watched that back after, and the look of like a little bit of fear you have in my eyes. There's a pause, and you look over, and you're like, "You can just say it."
Well, you had the floor. I knew. I was like, "Is she saying it, or am I saying
it?" And you were like looking down. It's so good.
I knew it was coming. It was just like, I just gotta wait for it. If she's not going to say it,
I don't want to make it sound like it was set up, like, because it wasn't actually set up. He definitely didn't know we were going to say that, but we had an inkling that he might ask us how we met, and. Man, how could he ask us how we met? Us? Yeah, like
it was perfect. And how could we not say that? For people that don't know, he asked Bill Belichick how he met his girlfriend, and she interrupted the interview and said, "No, we're not talking about that." So that's why.
That's where that came in.
Belichick moment.
That's a story. I had my own Jordan moment, though. I hear she's amassed $8 million of real estate since she started dating Bill, and I haven't done that. So. She's beaten me. Okay, We've talked enough about our escapades for the week. Let's get to what is going to be an insane weekend in the PWHL and what was a wild week. Let's start with the big news. Expansion, Tessa. Last week, I think on Friday or Tuesday maybe, I said the people were hungry for more news, and more news came. The PWHL is officially going to Seattle. Feels like an easy choice. You and I were at that takeover tour game. It was the first stop of the year. It was such a cool game. Like, you could tell how excited ownership and fans and the whole community were in Seattle. Like, congratulations, Seattle. And I've said this like 8 times today too, Tessa, but the first city to have all the major pro women's sports team in their city. Like, New York, obviously, people will throw a flag at, but the New York teams play in Jersey. A couple of them. The Sirens play in Jersey. So yeah, Seattle, the first city to have that accolade in the US, which is pretty cool.
Pretty awesome. I love the venue. First of all, the rink is amazing.
One of the coolest places. I was blown away when we walked in those doors.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I've obviously never walked into an arena where you go down steps to get to the ice.
You come in
so cool
on the upper deck, on the upper level. It's wicked. And their fans surprised me. I didn't realize how, and shame on me for not understanding just how into hockey they are and how knowledgeable they are and how just passionate they were and committed to getting a team there. Like, when we did our intermission little hit thing that we did inside of the rink, we're like, I don't know if they really want a team, or do you think they want a team? The place blew up. They're like, yes, we do. They had like a ton of fans, and we went off about like what it could be named. People had their very strong opinions against everything you said. And it was just like, this feels like
Seattle
a good spot.
Is like,
on
people
top
like
of it,
the
though,
Seattle freeze. It's just too close to frost. Like, I've been seeing. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
That's fair. The other thing is, like, what a wicked city to live in. And I can say this for a fact. There have been a few ladies that are in the league right now that are like, I'm going to go to Seattle. I want to go to Seattle. Like, I am out of here. And it's like, and I was just like, oh yeah, how come? And they're like, it's Seattle. Like, why wouldn't you want to live there for a bit if you could? And I was like, touche. Why not? What a wicked city to live in. You're a pro athlete. You're going to be living a bunch of different places. And I thought that was cool that there's an appetite for it in the league
Yeah.
amongst the players.
We've talked about the Vancouver girls who we've had on the podcast and the ones that we haven't had on the podcast. Like, it's going to be really interesting to see. Those are two really attractive cities, Seattle and Vancouver, in terms of lifestyle, in terms of everything. Like, I can imagine it's going to be pretty exciting. They've got two really nice facilities, not just Climate Pledge Arena as their home building. They also have the Kraken Iceplex as their practice facility. Really excited to see Seattle officially become a PWHL team. You guys know we had to get Amy Scheer on to talk about it again. That is Amy Scheer, everyone, despite what you are about to hear me say. Here it is. Okay, y'all, she made her debut last week. Here she is again on the Jocks and Jills podcast. Amy Scheer. Amy Scheer. Our executive VP of business ops at the PWHL.
You did Julie Chooch. What else did we do? Caddy Pasmeyer.
I know. Whenever we mess up names, we unfortunately have to leave it in because it's kind of our thing.
I've been called worse. It's okay.
Welcome to Jocks and Jills for a second time in 2 weeks. Hey, how's it going? You've been kind of busy.
I've never been so popular by any name.
Okay, Amy, we had you on last week to talk about Vancouver. Let's actually touch on that Vancouver announcement before we get into this week's announcement. What were the travel situations like? Like, did you and Tessa get into anything? She was unsupervised. She went to Vancouver without me.
I made it on time because you weren't there, Julia.
Yeah, I mean, I the thing is we were staying at the same hotel, so I basically said, meet me in the lobby at this time, and we're walking over. And then she couldn't stay for dinner, so no trouble was caused by Tessa, other than really telling the deputy mayor about Sidney Crosby and Marie-Philippe Poulin. So that was a fun social media hit. It had to be done, and it was done in the best of humor.
Yeah,
I just had to refresh the stats,
Yeah.
Of course.
It was amazing.
Sometimes folks have to be reminded. Okay, well, we talked Vancouver last week. People were hungry for more news already at that point, and now we finally have more news. Welcome to the PWHL Seattle. Amy, I know you've done so much work in making this happen and making this official, so congratulations. Tessa and I were at that takeover tour game earlier this year in Seattle. We were able to see the market firsthand, how excited folks were, how much they love Shoresy also, side note, in Seattle was a crazy thing. Tell us exactly how you landed upon this city as the next one in the PWHL.
I mean, so many great things in Seattle. Number one, being able to play the majority of our games at Climate Pledge Arena is amazing. The building is absolutely beautiful. They also have a beautiful practice facility. The Kraken Ice facility is beautiful. And so to have two venues that are as good as it gets for our players is wonderful. They'll be coming into an amazing situation. Seattle has a great history of women's sports. The Seattle Storm have just built a culture of excellence, a culture of attendance, wonderful fandom and engagement. Same thing for the Seattle Reign of the NWSL. And so they have a wonderful history there of supporting women's sports, and certainly showed that when we had over 12,000 fans at our game there. And so we feel good about that as a market. Also, it's a nice tandem with Vancouver, right? If you're coming out east and maybe you stop along the way for a takeover tour game, and then you do Vancouver and Seattle, it's a nice way to come and turn and work your way back home. So the two of them, maybe go together, and hopefully like a fun rivalry will come, of those two cities. So a lot of great reasons to be there.
Yeah, that's an immediate rivalry. Like, I feel like they have no choice but to be very upset.
Absolutely.
Specifically for the fact that when the Blue Jays play in Seattle, it is basically a home game for the Blue Jays, and that nothing would tick me off more as a sports fan than another visiting team's fans just making your venue feel like a home venue. And it was amazing to see, Julia. I didn't know just how into it Seattle sports fans were until we got out there and we saw all the signs. There was, older adult parents. There was younger kids that had signs that were already pushing for a team name and stuff. And I didn't realize just how much they actually enjoyed the Seattle Kraken and how cool that rink is. If you're a PWHL fan and you're thinking I might want to go to a game on the road, or you need to give your significant other or your partner a gift, honestly, a trip to Seattle to this rink to watch the PW play is it. Like, Julia, we had so much fun in this city.
I forgot. You just reminded me when we fired up the crowd about getting a team. And I mentioned
Yes.
something about the Yeti, I think, because you guys know I'm obsessed with
And there was,
Sasquatch.
yeah, what was it? The Freeze. There was like a bunch of good ones. But
yeah, the Seattle Freeze, Seattle Sasquatch is, I think that got Nick
Sasquatch.
Nate off the list. Yeah.
Come on.
thanks to Julia.
Come on.
Clearly, I haven't been invited to these meetings.
But obviously
No,
there was
you
a
have
lot
not.
of obviously there was a lot of reasons outside of Julia's horrible naming rights to have the team here. So how much did it matter to have, let's say, a Vancouver and Seattle who were close? How much did that matter and come into play for this?
Yeah, it definitely played a role. We look at so many different things when we're trying to decide where to put a team, and geography is certainly one of them. And also, listen, like it's while we could have done it, it's kind of crazy to have one team out west. And so this just makes things a little bit more palatable with travel. But we did look at other options that were X city in the US plus Vancouver. So geography played a role, but I wouldn't say numbers 1, 2, or 3. But definitely played some role. I mean, it'd be crazy to say it didn't.
Right. Is there a reason why both announcements were staggered?
It's just the time that it took us to finalize the deals and get all of our proverbial pucks in a row.
Nice.
And yeah, good pun, right?
Yeah.
And so just the length of time, it took a little bit longer to get it done. It's, we were negotiating both at the same time, but each deal is different and has its own nuance and had to be done accordingly to what we needed. And so they just got broken up into different weeks, but that's okay.
Yeah.
More airline miles for me.
Yeah. Totally.
That's true.
And now that we finally have this, okay, we got the two teams. There's just put a cap on this. There will be no more announcements for an expansion.
No,
Okay.
no, not for this, not for going into season 3. But
Okay.
again, it's the first step in, I think, a multi-year process of expanding. So, but for year 3, we're done.
Nice.
Cool. And we talked
Yeah.
last time about names and logos. We know that's
Yes.
in the work. No exact timeline yet. Can I ask? I know you work on the business side. I'm sure you're in the loop though about what the plan is for an expansion draft. Is there anything you could tell us about that as a preview?
Not without Jaina yelling at me. So
I got to try to squeeze you for one every time you come on the podcast, Amy.
yeah, no. As I'm very clear with Jane, when someone asks a hockey question, I'm just going to leave because no one wants me doing hockey. So I'll leave that up to the Hall of Famer to decide when and where she wants to talk about the expansion draft.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
just have
can't
to
wait to hear.
harass Jaina Hefford.
We're on it. I feel like we
I
spend a
know
lot of
Tessa.
time
She's
doing that
just
anyways.
waiting for it. Yeah.
Text has been sent while you've been
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, Amy, we know you're busy. Congratulations on everything the last couple of weeks. Really exciting times. 2 more teams come to the PWHL, Seattle and Vancouver. Why am I like that?
It just happens.
It just happens. Thank you so much, Amy, for coming on. So cool to know that the PWHL is going to be 8 teams big next year. Like,
I
we're going to
know.
have so much to talk about. It was the
100%.
first time this morning.
How often do you think Sue Bird's going to get out to some games?
Oh, I think
'Cause
that
she was
her
there and
Megan were
she
both
liked
kind of
it.
a fan. Yeah, they were asking us about what was going on in the game. I have a Bad Girl T-shirt from that
Oh.
game that is going to go up in my background at some point. Sue
Nice.
Bird is like part of PWHL
She is.
history, so she
Yeah.
has to be at lots of games.
She was there. We were there. We got to sit with her, Megan Rapinoe. Who else was there? There was like a ton of. I feel like there was
All
a
the
ton of
Kraken
celebs.
guys were there.
Oh, yeah.
You saw Brian
Jessica
Burke.
Campbell was there.
Yeah, there's so many great people. And someone that we were really excited to meet at this game. I hadn't met her before we went to Seattle, but I have always been a really big fan of her content.
Yeah.
I haven't read her new book yet, but I am very excited to pick up a copy, and we're even more excited that she's coming on Jocks and Jills. So here's Lexi Lafleur Brown. We had a chance to catch up with her earlier. Okay, guys, we can't talk about Seattle without bringing in some Seattle royalty, and we're so lucky to be joined here on Jocks and Jills by Lexi Lafleur Brown, author of Shoot Your Shot, best-selling author of Shoot Your Shot.
That's awesome.
And I have to bring you in like this because Tessa is from Sudbury
Yep.
and I am from Thunder Bay and you're from
Yep.
North Bay. And I feel like this is a really
Yay.
electric moment happening right now. on
The
podcast.
Northern Ontario girlies represent.
Like,
I
is
love
this
it.
going to become a segment? Should we make this a
So funny.
segment?
I
Just
know.
a bunch of Northern Ontario chicks hanging out talking hockey.
Love it.
You know what, Lexi? It's dawned on me now because I commented on one of your stories, I had sent you a note and you're like, and you're busting out all your goalie gear and you're like, and my monkey suit. And I was like, I say that. And everyone's like, it's not a monkey suit. I'm like, I'm like 900% sure it is. I called it that my whole life.
What, your
Like,
gear?
That's what, a goalie's like chest protector thing is called a monkey suit. And it must be a Northern Ontario thing, but maybe not in Julia's neck of the
Maybe
woods.
not this far north, but yeah, I like that. That's in your little corner of the province.
Yeah, that's definitely a controversial term because I didn't know it either, but I've come to learn that not everybody calls it a monkey suit.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
100%. Actually, before we get into the real contents of this interview, let's all decide something here. What do you guys call it? A camp, a cottage, or a lake house? Or
Camp.
Camp? I'm a camp girl too.
Oh, yeah, camp or cottage.
I like
Are
those.
you,
I'll do
a
both.
cottage now? Are you a cottage now, but you were a camp when you were a kid?
That's I say cottage now too. I can't even lie.
Julia.
It's bad.
That's
Because it's
okay.
my boyfriend's family, so I feel like it has to be respectful, you know?
Mm.
It's a sign of respect. If I start calling it a camp, I don't know. I don't think it's nice or something.
I try to stay indoors, so maybe I'm not the best person to give an opinion.
You would like the
for
camp
this.
that I'm talking about then. Honestly.
Yes,
It's an indoor camp.
It's a house.
Okay, so we're talking Seattle. We're talking expansion. We saw you at the Takeover Tour game earlier this year. Like, what was that moment like for you? You posted on Twitter that you spent a lot of your childhood, like we do, getting ready in electrical change rooms. So now to see the city that you live in have a pro women's hockey team, how surreal does it feel?
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, it's so exciting. Even just as an adult, I'm excited to, get to experience that. But it is also like a little bit emotional because I think about myself as a kid and playing on all boys teams and being stuck, in whatever room they could fit me in to get ready for my game and constantly being told, girls don't play. And I think about all the young kids now in Seattle, the young girls who are going to be able to say like, well, of course, girls play hockey. Like, look, like they play professionally.
Yeah.
So I know how meaningful that's going to be.
Will you be applying for any of the positions with this Seattle team? Like, can we expect to see like
A diehard fan.
Okay, season ticket holder, not GM.
Yes.
You're not throwing your
No.
name in.
I just want to enjoy. I think
Totally fair. I mean, if there's mascot position open, I'm sure you'd be fantastic.
I will fill in. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's
Do you have
so
any
good. What was
names that you think would fit well for the Seattle franchise?
Oh, that's so much pressure to come up with a name. I hope they do something like fun and creative because I think Seattle is a pretty fun and creative city. I mean, there's like music history and outdoors and fishing. And so I think they've got a lot of, I don't know. But I think they've got a lot of I think there's a lot of good things that they could like pull from.
Yeah, I don't envy anybody that has, that has to name something. Julia's all about it. That's her forte. But I'm just
no, it's not. Like, not the
give me
people who
three, I'll
actually
pick
have
one.
to do it, right? Because like, I think I would want to do it, but then people obviously have way better ideas than me. And then you have to get through the legal like hoops, right? Like I always think of it before you get to the legal hoops.
And
can't be written anywhere. So it's so hard. There's so few options you can go with. Did you have a favorite moment from the Takeover Tour stop in Seattle that kind of stands out to you?
Well, I love a shootout. So that was like iconic. We got extra hockey, which was really fun. But then just like the environment really stood out to me too. Like it's great when you can get good hockey, but when you get good hockey and a great environment, like it's really magical when you get both of those things. And that was really the experience for me. And I mean, I know the hype, I know how great it is, but being there yourself, like you really can't explain it. Like it was so much better than what I was expecting. And I was already expecting a lot.
Yeah.
And then, to get such a great, exciting game too was incredible.
Did it give you the itch to like want to get that new gear that you got and get back out playing again?
Yeah. I signed up for Summer League. So I'm like going back out on the ice this summer, which will be fun. But
you know that there's like walk-on opportunities for these teams,
Okay,
right?
people-
Can we expect?
No, I am so
Kala?
bad. I am people like I think it's probably because I'm from Northern Ontario. They're like,
Yeah.
you have to be good. I'm like, no, I have a big heart and I really I try hard, but that's like as far as it goes.
Okay, wait. We have to go back into your origin story. You were like the only girl on your team, but you also decided to be a goalie. Like what drew you to the Pipes?
I didn't know how to skate when I started to play hockey.
You thought it was an easy out?
And I thought it was an easy out. I was like, well, great. I won't have to skate or stop. And then I get there and everybody's like, goalies have to be the best skaters. Goalies are the best skaters. And there's like really that belief in the sport. And I was like, I've made a terrible error. Oh my God, what did I do?
You're just too embarrassed to tell anyone.
Yeah. And then I was in it. I was too late. So.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, wait. I actually want to go back a little bit. You were talking about the crowd at the Seattle Takeover Tour game. You go to all the Kraken games as well, obviously. And I don't want to knock that crowd because I know the Kraken have such amazing fans and it's a pretty warm, welcoming environment in Seattle at the men's games as well. But could you compare, because it's the same building, right? You assume that it might be the same people who show up for a hockey game, men's or women's, but it's not. Like, can you compare how different the crowd was rather at that Takeover Tour game compared to what you're used to at Kraken games?
Yeah, well, definitely with the Takeover game, you could tell that you're going to these new cities and every city you drop in, like everybody's like, we want a team. You're going to give us a team and we're going to show you why you need to give us a team. So for me, I could there were signs. I was like, Seattle needs a team. Like we're here. Like, look at everybody showing up. So like the vibes were like, we want this. We're going to show you how much we want this. And
It was awesome.
yeah, the support was incredible.
It was cool. It shocked me. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I was like, whoa, this place is for real. It was cool. And the city's cool as all heck. Like, for the players that are going to play there, like I mean, I know that Montreal and Boston got a little bit of a taste of it, but like visiting teams, what can they expect? And what are some of the best things about Seattle when they go to play there?
Yeah, I think, just the facilities themselves are really nice. And I think that will appeal to players, like a really nice rink, a really nice practice facility. I mean, everything's new because the Kraken are still, pretty new. So that stuff's really nice. And then the city itself, I mean, there's always so much to do. It's a really accepting, like beautiful city, lots to do. And then nature here is really beautiful too. And we don't get a lot of snow, which for me, I've lived through so much snow.
Yeah.
So we get some rain, but we do not get the heavy storms. So the weather here is great too.
I'll leave you with this one. Expansion draft is going to happen. You have your favorite players in the PWHL. Let's pretend for a second that the league, like literally, let's pretend teams can only protect one person because you can't say like Hillary Knight or Marie Plan. That would probably be too obvious. Who would you want Seattle to take first in the expansion draft?
I can't say anybody but Hillary Knight, and I know I can't, but
no, that's fine.
Or Captain Clutch. Like, it's so hard not to want a huge name for Seattle right off the rip.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see who it might be. Like, that they're going to have a player like that. I'm excited to see the ripple effect it creates within the PWHL. I'm pumped for the expansion.
And that's what's so exciting about when you get an expansion team is the team announcement itself is exciting, but then like you keep getting hits of exciting stuff. What's the team going to be called? What are the jerseys going to look like? Who's going to be on the team? So this is just the beginning, and I know that there's just going to be more and more exciting news to come.
Well, we can't wait to see the content you're going to create around it all. You're an awesome follow for everybody. Let them know your handle and where and how they can follow you, Lexi, before we let you go.
Yeah, I'm on social media, Lexi Lafleur Brown too. I like to, share hockey content. So yeah, thank you so much for having me.
No League Geek, guys. Make sure you check out Shoot Your Shot. Lexi, thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
North Bay, Sudbury.
I love it.
Thunder Bay on one podcast segment. Like, was that even legal?
The internet's about to break.
The Wi-Fi north of Toronto is about to absolutely implode itself. From all of our parents' clicks.
Yeah, I was just gonna say all of our moms.
Lexi's so awesome. She's so authentically herself. She grew up playing hockey in Northern Ontario, and now she lives in Seattle. I can expect she's going to be a fixture at those PWHL Seattle games.
Better be.
Okay, let's get to actual stuff going on. There were so many games and we haven't talked about any of them yet. Quick odds and ends news. In the PWHL, Montreal signed Catherine Daou to a 10-day SPA earlier this week on Monday. Makes sense with Tabin and Aaron Ambrose not playing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Anything on that, Tess?
Condolences to the Ambrose family. Erin Ambrose lost her grandmother right before Worlds, so she had to go home for obviously funeral and all of that. So, Marianne Hicks, you will be remembered, and thank you for being the patriarch in what is Erin Ambrose's family and bringing her into this league and into this world. So, our thoughts and love are going all their way. So Ambrose said, it was one of her favorites and she loved her grandma. And so we just want to make sure that they know that we're thinking of them and that we love them too.
Yeah, Erin was playing with a heavy heart over in Czechia. We're going to be thinking of her as she pushes through the playoffs here. Let's get to the games. Montreal, Boston. We could have done this, probably. We could have done a lot of this talk before the game even happened.
Yeah.
It is insane to me, and I don't think our heads are blowing up enough about the fact that every time Boston and Montreal play,
overtime,
it goes to OT, extra time, and the score is 3-2. Yeah. January 5th at Climate Pledge, March 1st at the Bell Center, March 8th at Aganis, March 18th at Tsonga Center, and once again, we got that result April 28th at Place Bell. Kind of insane that all 5 of those games happened in different venues too. But yeah, they are consistent. They're consistent.
Like, I don't care what anybody says. There is no rivalry in the league like this rivalry. None. Name me another matchup head to head that feels like this one. There ain't.
Nope.
If anything, Minnesota and Ottawa might develop one like this just based on the way last season ended and the way this season is coming about. But it doesn't have the playoff fuel like this one does, and the overtime and the drama and the tightness of games. Like, it's insane. Montreal ended up coming out on the good end on this one. So of the 5 games, I believe Montreal won 3. They had a 2-game losing skid on this one. And this win guaranteed them a top 2 finish. So they are for sure getting home ice for the semifinals. If they end the season in first place, they get home ice advantage throughout the entirety of the playoffs. This game was physical right off the bat. I was like, okay, all right, I get it. It's Boston is Montreal. I feel it. I dig it. But nothing felt scary or like out of control in the physicality department. You know what I mean? It felt like both teams were just like, no, this is how we play against each other now. Regularly.
They know the drill.
They were comfortable in it. And I liked how Jen Gardner was playing. The confidence coming off of Worlds, I think has been very valuable to her and to her game. She scored a goal, obviously. It could have been Boreen. Boreen banked it off the post. But Gardner was smart. This just shows her hockey IQ. Like, she was still hunting around the net. Very well could have gone in, didn't. She was in the right place and put it in. And smart players, they don't always have to be the best skaters. They don't always have to be, the quickest or whatever. They're just smart and they know where to be. And that's why they continually get points. And always feels like they're just in the right spot or they always get the right bounce. It's because it's almost like they have this intuition of where the play is going to go and where the puck might end up. And she's one of those players. I love the look of power play 2 on Montreal. Can I say this? Not only because Kath Dubois scored, but on both their attempts, like, power play 1 was like generating some stuff, but PP2 was the unit that was like making things happen. And I would ride it more going into the playoffs and in the playoffs because
especially with the way Montreal's power play has been kind of in and out.
Who cares? Power play 1, power play 2. I don't give a shit. Put the puck in the net. Is it going in? Cool. That's who's going. That's what I would do as a coach, but I don't know. Boston, though, you messaged me. I was like 10 minutes behind in the game because I had stuff to do with my kids. And when you messaged me, you're like, can you believe this? Like, this is what's happening in the Florida game in the NHL and now Boston doing this. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't look at my phone anymore. I need to mute Julia when I'm watching games. But Boston just rallying back, led by Hannah Brandt and a beauty jailbreak goal. My God.
That was gorgeous.
Like, it was like a moment where you're like, oh. Like, that's the kind of goal that was. And then riding that high 39 seconds later, Hannah Bilko, welcome back, baby. She had a great game too. She looks healthy. She looks like she's ready to go, and obviously a very welcomed return from everybody in that Fleet locker room. Getting the all-important goal to give her team a point to send it to OT. I don't know. Boston just feels so good to me right now. Like I can't. It was like last year at the beginning of the season when I was like, Boston's going to win it all, and then partway through the season I was like, I don't know, and then playoffs started, and I was like, no, Boston, yeah. Like this is where I can't shake Boston ever. And I tried to have Montreal picked from the beginning of this season, and I'm back to Boston again.
Yeah, you even felt that way. I don't know. Boston is just like they'll grind you. We said that right to start the season. Boston will grind you and get a win out, and they almost did this in this game versus Montreal, where they didn't have that much business doing so.
Totally. Like what a freaking goal by Laura Stacey too. I mean, that was all Pooh. It was just a great play by Pooh on that overtime winner.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cute. You know, Stace gave Pooh a legit shout out. Like it was perfect. And Pooh had been setting her up all game. She was like, she's been setting me up a lot and I've been missing a lot. So I had to get that one. And it was like, yeah, that would have been like a domestic that immediately took place mid overtime. You know what I mean? Had she
That'd
missed.
be a few laps around the block before you get home.
Yeah, you're walking. That's it.
Yeah.
I love it. But the cool thing is that's the 11th time Pooh and Stace have linked up on a goal this season, which is pretty sweet. And I feel like Laura Stacey too, like, I don't know, she gets it. She's a big game player. She's a hard-nosed player. That's her third game-winning overtime goal. So like, I don't know if you're going to be playing against Boston in the playoffs, I mean, if it ever heads to overtime, you know you're putting Stace out there. Play the odds.
Well, yeah, like look at the time on ice last season. They were definitely doing that. The issue with Montreal became, those players getting run into the ground last season. And it's looking like this year they do have more depth. So
I was going to say,
really
I think
with them.
Yeah, I think this year they have like their second and third and even fourth lines that can kind of grind down, you know, eat up minutes, grind down the other team, make them tired when it comes to the third period, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Loved that this was their last like home game on home ice of the regular season. They were able to celebrate with their fans so nicely. It was a really nice moment.
We said this in one of our interviews today, Julia, and I'm going to stand by it. If Montreal gets to pick who they want to play, they better damn well pick Boston. Can you do us the favor, please, and just pick Boston? Because you inevitably might run into them anyways. Just make it in the get it over with, right? Yeah. That's where I'm at. I want to see it. And like, look, you got to nip it in the butt sooner or later.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to see how this weekend shakes out. I agree with you. Like maybe like there's something about being the first overall team and not first overall, like the first place team and picking your opponent, and it just gives your opponent too much ammo. Like maybe the first place team is like, God, this is feeling like a disadvantage. It's interesting. It's all an experiment.
Yeah, but then you know what you do? You just pretend like you pick it out of a helmet. You cut up two pieces of paper. You're like, we're going to pick a name out of here, but both names are Boston. And then you go and pick it. And it's like, oh, look, it's Boston. Yeah. That's what I would do.
I'm interested to see who, like whether it's Toronto or Montreal, and we'll get into exactly what the clinching circumstances are and what the scenarios are for this weekend. Whoever wins first overall. I remember last year it was Rory that the Scepters made a video. Rory Spooner, they pretended that Rory picked the first round opponent. Like I'm excited to see the content this year of whoever wins.
See what happens.
Pick first.
Yeah. Does Boston have a team dog?
No, but there's a lot of like dogs around the team.
Right. Yeah. It'll be interesting. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I bet you
I feel like Hillary Knight's bulldog is an underrated character. Like that's actually, a good character.
Probably.
I his name right
I bet you, sorry, I called her Burchard. Courtney Kessel, I bet you she just comes up and is straight up like, no, we're picking this team. If Boston ever got to pick, she would just be like, that's who we're picking. And that's the end of the story. I will be fielding no questions and we are done here. Thank you. Goodbye. That's what would happen with Birchie.
Yeah, you're so right. So Montreal gets the best of Boston. Another overtime game for those two teams. Like if they meet in the playoffs, just tuck in with a coffee.
No, you're getting your money's worth if you got a ticket.
Yeah. Fill your pockets with goldfish crackers. Just know you're going to be there for a while. Okay, next game. Toronto, New York. You called it CJ night.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
You were in the house, and we were all out
Yes.
together before. Me, you, Buckles, the Shirley's girlies. I
Yeah.
was absolutely sniffing a vodka soda that I was like, what is this? Like hand sanitizer? Like you guys were thinking that my glass was getting more full as I was drinking it. We were all enjoying ourselves. As I walk out of the bar, I see the news. Carly Jackson will get the start for the Toronto Scepters, not just on any old night, on Pride and Unity night. Like, was this written by the hockey gods? Do they have a ghostwriter working for the PWHL? This was just one of the most magical moments, not just this season, but in PWHL history.
100%. And the fact that they were starting, like you said, on that night, and not only, I just need everybody to understand. So months prior to this game, I had inquired about purchasing a box for my Shirley girlies. Never throughout the entirety of the season had all of the boxes been sold out. They were sold out until like 2 weeks before when they're like, hey, someone backed out. You can finally purchase one. Okay. So this night was ramped, set up to be a wicked evening. And Carly Jackson steps in there and is just like, allow me to steal the show. And it was so perfect because, one, they're like the most popular third string goaltender in any professional sport. Like she legit is a true bona fide celebrity.
Yep.
Known everywhere. People just want a piece of Carly Jackson, whether she's up in the media box, whether she's dressed as a backup on the bench, or when she finally plays in her first game. And what a night. Julia, it was packed. 8,532 people were in this place. And like, there are very few moments that happen in hockey when I'm like, I want to play again. Daryl Watts scored. Well, first of all, CJ's in net, so everyone's just loud and excited. It's packed. Then Daryl Watts scores, and it like shocked me. Like it was scared. The place was so loud, it scared me that I was just like, oh my gosh, playoffs are coming up. Listen to what this place sounds like. I want to play again. Like in games that mean something, not games where I'm just like, I'm going to work my tail off and burn off enough calories so I can earn my beers and my wings after. It was wicked. They played so good. Stopped 25 shots. Like every shootout attempt, not one got past CJ.
Yeah.
Glorious. And it was just like, like you said, it was like, let this just be their night, of course. And I don't know if, I'm going to assume, only because I just know how thoughtful and aware they are in terms of Troy Ryan and Gina Kingsbury, and the fact that this expansion was announced. We now have 2 teams. They know that Carly Jackson is more than just a third string cheerleader. They know that she can actually play. And they're like, let's give her an opportunity to showcase herself. So if these teams want them, have them.
Yeah.
And she proved herself. Like she made some great saves. Like I said, stopped every shootout attempt. Like, I don't even want to talk for CJ in this. Like, I want to know through her eyes what the evening was like, because she did have teammates show up for her. Watts scoring her 6th goal in 6 games. Obviously in the first period, both goals came in the first period, but in the shootout, Tev Spooner doubled down. What I loved about it though, is that Spooner did score twice, but like it
as usual
came down
That's
to
a throwback to last year.
Yeah.
Seeing Spooner do that.
It came down to CJ though, making the save to secure it. Like, go get your own win. And they did.
Yep, they absolutely did. So lucky to have them on right now. I also want to, actually, we'll talk about their pregame walk-in fit when they come in, because it was extremely cool.
So cool.
Here's Carly Jackson. Welcome in. All right, it's the human being of the hour in women's hockey and like in sport in general. CJ, you have truly captured the attention of like everyone in the sporting world with your first official PWHL start and subsequently your first official PWHL win. I just want to give you the floor to start. Like, how are things and how were things? Like, walk us through your feelings right now in the past couple days.
When did you find out you were playing is what I want to know. And like, did you sleep?
Yeah, actually, I slept so good. It had been a really long time since I had fallen asleep in like one position and then woken up in the same position.
Nice.
So that was just a nice touch for me the night before. No, but I found out the night before, I want to say around 9:30ish, perhaps. But I got a text from Troy, and he goes, "Hey, Siege, how are you? Just checking in to see if you're ready for the start tomorrow." and I was like, "Yep, heck yeah, I'm ready to go." And then I called my parents right after, and they ended up booking a flight. I texted kind of all my folks and tried to get in all the OGs and all the people that I could think of that could either spread the word to other friends and family and that sort of stuff, so I could get the message out and then go focus and do my thing and prepare for the day. But I was just elated. I was happy. I was ready. I've been having some really intentional time, particularly in the past, I'd say, a couple of months and in the past 5 weeks or so. I feel like there's been a shift in my mentality of goal setting and kind of finding that next level. And I think my game has taken a new level, especially recently. But I also think this has been a long time coming. I mean, it's a bit of a crazy stat to say, as a goaltender to not have played in 2 seasons and to get that opportunity. It was a lot of fun. But I was also supported so much by the people around me, the staff, my teammates, the most, my family, of course, the people that have seen me through all the stages and all the levels. I mean, it was really special to get to share that with the people around me. But yeah, I was ready to go, and
Like
I had a lot of fun.
It was a loud building, Siege, and like you were just
It
so
was.
chill back there. Were
You
you like,
looked so
were you
calm.
faking it, or or were you just like, this is it, this is what I've been wanting, this is it, this is my moment? Because like you shut the door in the shutout, like you didn't even allow a goal, and there was like no slouches coming down. Like you stopped Carp twice.
Yeah, I was actually really excited that they sent Cart twice because, like, I know how great of a player she is, and I've never, or at least I can't remember a time where I've ever gotten to go up against her. So when they're calling her name on the announcer, I was like, let's go, bring it, because you want that, right? I think you want that challenge, you want that, you want the players that you're excited to play against to try and beat you, and it was so fun, and the shootout kind of holds a special place, I think, for me in the past phase of my career. And I've spent the last 2 seasons often, almost every day of practice, taking breakaways at the end of practice, and sometimes it's 20, sometimes it's 100, sometimes it's sometimes more,
You're the
sometimes less.
shootout specialist. That's
I
what the
just
girls were
love it.
buzzing about after the game.
Yeah, it's so funny. But yeah, I think they've seen me. I think see me out there, right? And I love talking with the girls too. Some of the people that stay on pretty frequently, and we'll talk strategy, we'll talk all sorts of different stuff. Sometimes I emulate other goalies if we're going up
Wow.
against different styles, and say there's someone who plays really deep or comes out really far, or maybe they drop their blocker down, things like that, so that our players or our team can get a different look at different styles of goaltending. But yeah.
Hold the phone. So you're watching video on other goaltenders and then mimicking them out there?
To help your teammates at practice.
Yeah. So especially if we have time, we don't always have practice between games and things like that. But especially in a playoff series like last year against Minnesota and things like that, I'll study other goalies and do my best to try and emulate some of their styles so that our players aren't as shocked or as surprised or can read it just a little bit better. Yeah.
Unreal.
You're the best,
What a
dude.
legend in the game you are. Man, you're like the best teammate. Okay, but
Yeah.
this is a serious question and we're going to laugh at it a little bit. But like, how many glizzies did you have pregame, maybe in the intermission? And were there postgame glizzies for celebration?
Did everyone get a glizzy?
Everybody.
I hope everybody
I feel
got
like
a
at the
glizzy.
end of the game, the Scepter should have just been like, screw it. Everyone gets a glizzy.
Free glizzies.
Like out the door, here you go, right?
Honestly, we should start doing that.
Yes.
I agree.
You know when they send the parachutes of the hot dogs down at different sporting
Yes.
events? I think we should do that. Scepters win, glizzies reign.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when Siege is starting.
Yeah.
When it went to a shootout, were you almost like giggling to yourself in net? Like, is this real? Could this be happening?
Yeah, I think I went up to Soupy and I said, this is typical, eh? Like classic. Like, of course we're going to a shootout right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when did you mentioned that mentality shift?
Yeah.
We've been talking about expansion a lot on this particular episode of the podcast with the news about Seattle. Like, did news about expansion affect that mindset shift for you? What do you think it was? Was it when Soup went down injured? A couple of those things factoring in?
Yeah, I mean, the expansion's kind of been in the back of the brain, I think, for everybody. Kind of hoping and almost telling yourself that it's going to happen so that when it does, you're not shocked in any type of way. But I've gone through, I think, some transition in my life. I had a really great relationship that happened to come to an end, and it was time for that to happen, and it was wonderful. And but it
My
kind of
God, your
triggered.
DMs after this are going to be insane.
Yeah, I
like
know.
I feel like
This is gonna
I'm
be
actually
nuts.
scared of your
Yeah.
DM. You better send us a screenshot of your DMs after saying that on this podcast. Continue with your nice story, but I would like to see them.
I'll see what I can do for you.
Move over,
Just-
Sarah
make a-
Nurse. We've got some new juicy DMs.
I'll make a highlight reel.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
I'm sorry. You were telling a nice story
I
and I was
know,
being an
sorry.
idiot. You're in a transitional phase in life, though.
Yeah. So really awesome relationship. It happened to come to an end, and it kind of triggered a rewiring phase for me. And I had recently signed with a new agency, and she had set me up with a whole network of people that could support me, and I got to meet with a bunch of people and see who kind of had aligned with my current goals, and could maybe just get a touch point on people I think that would become part of my support team. And so I invested in myself, and have gotten all these people in my corner, and kind of just extra stuff outside of hockey. And I've got a juggling coach, and I've got like this wonderful fellow. He's kind of between. He's a performance coach, but he's between like overall wellness and performance on the ice. And I've just been really dialed into some flow state stuff, and I can juggle 4 balls now, which is pretty cool. It's like a fun fact. Yeah,
Whoa.
I've been
I
learning.
need you to teach me. Do you know how to do?
Sure.
Can you juggle with a partner? I'm a partner juggler. Should we?
Haven't, but we could link up and we could figure it out.
We need this.
This is a summer thing. We're doing this over the summer.
We need
Yeah.
that. That's amazing.
So sick.
Yeah, and it's helped me just kind of not change anything drastically, but just rewire just a little bit to I think make the most of my life right now, and really kind of give back to myself. And I think in doing that, I've been able to give even more to my team, and bring more to the rink every day, and it's been really fun. It's been feeling really good and empowering. So the timing is kind of aligned, and I think the stars aligned too with getting my first start and everything happening. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of work lately that's paid off.
I was gonna say, you're such a giver. I don't know how you could give more to your team. Like, you are such a bright light. You're such an uplifter. You're clearly doing extra work to help out your ladies be successful. It was about time that the hockey universe paid you back a little bit. And I think there's still more great things to come for you. So it's gonna be awesome to see what takes place over the next season or two for you. You mentioned your parents buying a flight to come watch you play. I got to give them a very big hug, and I was like, we're vibing on the same frequency, us. Like, I didn't even ask if they were huggers. So if your parents were taken aback by my over aggressive hugs, tell them I'm sorry. However, there was a lot of love there for them, and I can see just why you are the way you are. They were 2 very great, smaller in stature people that like I was overly aggressive with. And just what did it mean to you to be able to have them there? And like, you found out at 9:30 at night. So like, when did they have time to like book a flight, and like how were their seats? Do you know what I mean? And how did you get them tickets? Were they okay? Like, that's a lot to organize in a very short period of time, but also a very exciting moment for you.
I've been really lucky with my support system around me, and the people I've met. And a couple seasons ago, I lived with the Billet family here in Toronto when I was playing for the Six, and I'm still very close with them. I've spent holidays with them. They're wonderful. And one of them texted me before any news. They said, listen, if you are playing, just let us know, and your parents are flying in. Like, we'll pick them up from the airport if they're able to get here, and we'll take care of them. Don't worry about anything. Just let us know if they get a flight. And they did. And to be honest, I don't really know the rest. I heard that they had a tough travel day, so they found out. They booked their flight that was, I think, at 7 or 6 in the morning. So they were up at 4 a.m. They got to bed around like 1 or 2. Up at 4, out the door in Toronto in the early morning, and ended up being a long day until the 7 o'clock start. But they were up there, and they look the same as they always do. They kind of perch up in the, not in the nosebleeds, but they always sit back and I think let me experience everything to the fullest. And they're so just receptive of just being supportive of me, and they're always so patient waiting for me after the game. And I normally don't see people in the stands when I am on the ice. It's a lot. There's so many people, so to recognize one person can sometimes be a little bit overwhelming or hard to do. And I found them right away, and they just appeared. They were there. And even during the game at one point, I had made eye contact with my mom, and I gave her the nod, and she gave me the nod back. And it was cool because we used to do that in college. And and I saw my dad sit next to her, and he just looked all proud, and he was adorable.
Yeah.
And it was just so
Aw.
cool that they got to share that, because that was the first pro game they've ever seen me play in person.
Oh,
Dude,
I
that's
never
so
saw you
cool.
play for the Six.
Yeah, because there was just things that happened where there was a weekend maybe I was supposed to play. Actually, it happened 4 times where they'd traveled
Oh
when I was
no.
planned on playing, and then something changed or just stuff happens, and I
You
didn't.
Tessa and I
So
crying. Like, it's so funny that we're just
Both
like
of us
sitting
are
here
great. As
weeping,
a
letting
mom,
you
that
host our
got me so hard.
podcast.
That got me so hard as a mom. That's cool, man. That's an awesome moment. Like, that's kind of the cool things that you dream. Like, for me, it was like pregame with my dad. I always had my pregame talks with my dad. So it's nice that you got to experience that with your parents who are there. Can you give your billets a shout out? I just want to know their names just because that's a really cool thing that they did
their
for your
names
family.
are April and Mia.
April
Oh,
and
that's so
Mia,
awesome.
Yeah,
legends.
they were the ones. I don't know if they got on the broadcast or not, but there was people in the stands wearing goalie masks that were the same as
Yeah, I
mine.
did
And,
see that.
and the
Those are your
pads.
billets.
Yeah, those are my billets.
No
And
way.
Was that your gear? Old gear?
it was, yeah. So April, one of them is just a creative genius. She's jack of all trades, brilliant at everything, but really, really creative. And she'll make these costumes. So she's made these giant spoons. She's made like an outfit for Turnbull, and so she made all of these helmets that are the same as mine and the pads. So she was the one wearing the pads and the whole goalie gear. It was awesome.
So sick.
So sick.
I got to know, how did the game play out in your eyes? Like your team performance, obviously goals in the first period, nothing after that until the shootout. So like from your eyes, how did the game play out for you? Break it down for us.
Yeah, I think for the day, like the whole day itself before the game had started, I was just trying to manage my own emotions. I mean, I was nervous, I was anxious, I was excited, all sorts of stuff, but I was just trying to be really neutral. And then as soon as I got into the rink and we had our little pregame hockey talk, right after that, I felt settled because I was around my team. I could see how just happy they were for me, and I could feel the energy off of them that I could just reflect back. That felt so secure and confident. And we started ripping through warm-ups, and it just felt like another day. And um, everybody treats me the same way, talks to me the same way, and just it was a little bit more, I think, joy in the eye or sparkle in the eye or something that was just really cool to share with them. I think so. Yeah, and then as soon as we're going up for warm ups, it was just I was trying. I felt like I was in a space to just receive everything, where no matter how the outcome went, I was really proud to be there, and I was really gracious to get to have that experience because it's not every day that you get to start in a PWHL game. And I wanted to receive the most out of that experience as a human being, as a hockey player, regardless of the outcome. And I think that put me in a good space to perform. And it happened to have a really great outcome. But I also was able to receive everything really well. And then as soon as the game started, I think the first probably 8 minutes or so, I was just it was exciting. The noise, I couldn't believe that I couldn't hear anything. I mean,
was
it
so
makes sense.
Your first stop when the crowd reacted that way? Like,
Nuts.
so crazy.
It was so cool, and having my name announced and the crowd being so loving. I mean, it's exactly what I had dreamed of, but to have it actually happen was really, really special, and I felt it, and I think I received all that love at the moment, and I'm still receiving it. I think as I process everything that happened and the memory of it, and but yeah, I think I settled in probably around that 8-ish minute mark where I'm like, okay, here we go, we're going, we're in it. Let's just keep doing the job and keep enjoying it. And took it a period at a time, took it very much a moment at a time, and saw a lot of things like that my teammates just helped me out on, either like a little stick or maybe someone jabbed me after the whistle and they were right there. There was no second looks on any type of interaction or whatever. They were just dynamite, and I could feel their energy towards me, and I was just reflecting it right back. And I feel like I enjoyed it, they enjoyed it, and to end up the game ended up going into overtime and into a shootout was just so fitting. And 3 points is always the goal, and it happened to not go to 3 point, be a 3-point game, but it was just extra special for it to be that tight the whole way through, and to have a great goalie battle. Osborne played fantastic, and
she was awesome.
I think my first thought when that happened, when I was like, she made a series of really good saves, I was like, oh shoot, we're going. And then I was like, no, let's lean into this. I was like, let's bring it, like let's go. And
we're
to
doing
go to
this?
a shootout, yeah, like let's go, bring it, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's the only other PWHL goalie that played in a shootout in her first PWHL game. So you guys also share that. So
that's
I don't know why I just shared that here as like word vomit on the podcast, but it was at the top of my head, so I had to. CJ, let's talk about the impact though, because the whole, as I mentioned off the top, the whole sports world is kind of talking about this. And I was thinking back to the Pride game last year at Mattamy Athletic Center when you were on the bench. And I think it was like around the 2-minute mark of the game, the fans were chanting to have you go in. You know how well loved you are by Toronto Scepters fans and PWHL fans. And then there's been this huge outpouring in the aftermath. This was your moment. It was absolutely your moment, but it felt almost a little bit bigger than you in the way you got to represent so many people on a big stage. What does that feel like?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think I feel really gracious to represent what I do for a lot of people, and to be the receiver of a lot of that love and understanding. And there's something really powerful of, I think, in being seen and feeling heard and feeling understood. And I think that I represent that for people. And I think that's because I'm really open about my identity and my experience and things like that. And I feel very lucky that people can grab onto that and find power in how that relates to their own lives and something that they love, which is hockey, right? And I felt that too, and it feels really powerful, and it feels important, and it feels bigger than the game, and that kind of goes beyond just that goes beyond just being a hockey player. I think that extends into your purpose as a person and as a human and being here. So I feel very proud. I feel lucky. I just try to make the most of it, and I feel really, really great when I'm able to connect with people on such a powerful experience.
Well, we're really proud of you too. Like,
Thank you.
What a moment. I can't think of a more deserving person to get to enjoy this. And another game Saturday leading into the playoffs. The vibes could not be higher in Toronto. So congratulations, CJ. We appreciate you taking the time, and congratulations. Enjoy this win.
Yeah. And thanks for being you. Like, I feel like through all of this, there is no part of you that is acting as something. This is just you being you, and you're the most perfect person to be in that position, buddy. So we're big fans. We were cheering for you. I was there loud and proud. I don't know if you heard my Shirley girlies up in your right-hand corner, up in the being all raucous, but we're proud of you. Keep kicking butt. And just know that we're in your corner. We'll be cheering for you the rest of the way.
Thank you.
What a night that was in Toronto. No other goalie had a shootout result in their first career PWHL start before that night on Tuesday. Kayla Osborne had a shootout loss in her debut, but she was coming in relief, so not in a start. What CJ did that night was truly incredible.
It's the best.
Actually, Tess, before you were talking about CJ's importance to the Scepters and like just the respect the room has for her, I want to play this clip quickly from Troy Ryan talking about them after the game.
It wouldn't be easy to play the role that CJ plays on our group. Every team has a number 3 goalie. I don't know if anybody has a number 3 goalie that has the impact on their players, on the team, on the organization, and our whole fan base like CJ has. Just a special player. And it's funny, Ali Monroe came to me at the end of this game, and Ali just has probably a little bit longer of a connection with CJ. CJ was actually the goalie, and Ali was the captain. And I coached a Canada Winter Games team in Nova Scotia. And Ali just came to me, and the smile on her face for CJ was amazing. An old quote that I used to use a lot is, "Good things happen to good people." And Ali just said it to me, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, there it was, CJ night. It's hard to talk about anything else from that game, but
they need to rename it CJ night.
You're 100% right. And they were on the bench last year for Pride Night, and I remember at the end of the game at Mattamy Athletic Center, all the fans, that was the only game that they were on the bench, I think, last year, and all the fans at Mattamy were chanting to put them in to end the game. But that's not Troy and Gina to me. Like, Troy and Gina wouldn't throw them in just to be like, here, have a few minutes that don't mean anything just because the fans are chanting. They put them in. Gina and Troy put them in like with an opportunity to prove something. And they did. To your point, expansion might lengthen their careers. It's pretty awesome. Okay. Oh boy, guys. The game of the week, Minnesota, Ottawa. Let's talk about this.
This is a huge game, guys. Huge.
Should we talk about Minnesota first, or should we talk about Ottawa first?
Whatever. Well, Go Ottawa.
I feel like there's two sides to this coin.
There is. It
Gwyneth
doesn't matter what
Phillips,
we go first.
you're a goddamn
Phillips.
beast.
Beast
Gwyneth
mode
Phillips,
activated.
amazing. Gwyneth Phillips, like, I don't know how she's going to remain in Ottawa Charge next year. Like, she is more than good enough to be a starter in this league.
Yeah.
Obviously, she kept Ottawa in it for a lot of Wednesday night. But I thought that Ottawa actually came out pretty well, Tessa, to start. Like, I thought they controlled a lot of play to start that game.
100%. That's great. Second period, there was like a span where I was just like, okay, Ottawa, like, what else would you like Gwen to do? Like, she can't score. Well, I mean, she could, but like, she's not going to, like, come on. Like, you got to she's giving you every opportunity here to go down and get a goal. She's stopping everything. And then obviously, Kendall Coyne doing her thing, and which, I mean, nice goal. I say nice, it deflected off of Markowski, but you know, Gwen was just like, you could tell in that moment, she was like, man, because you saw it in her. Like, Julia, she was throwing hits. Like, she was leading the way for her team. Like, hey guys, this is how we need to play. Puck was behind that. She went to go play it. Someone came out. She gave him like a little old back shoulder. I was like, yes,
dude.
Gwen.
And when Ottawa was on that little heater right before Worlds, they came into this game on a 3-game winning streak. That's how they were playing. They were playing physical. They were playing hard to play against. Zoe Boyd was back in the lineup tonight. Like, the last time I saw Ottawa play really well was that game when she got suspended, where she crossed the line a little bit there. But you and I both said at the time, Ottawa needs to play like that.
All the time. And anyways, I felt bad for her because she was just like, oh, like that one went in. She was like, oh no. But it was like, she didn't waver at all. She kept playing hard. She kept trying to keep her team in it, to the point where it was just like, I think you and I messaged each other during that game at some point. We're like, okay, Ottawa, like, anytime now.
Do something for your goalie.
Do something for her. Like,
you guys seem to really like her. Like, what?
God.
Can't
and it's
give her
not
a little
just buying her dinner after saying, hey, thanks for trying. Like, come on, man. Anyways, I felt bad because she plays so good. But again, you look at last year, what happened with Minnesota and how they got into the playoffs. And then you look at last year, how Ottawa missed the playoffs. It almost seems like this game started writing that exact same story yet again.
You're so
and
right.
we asked Minnesota last year, you know, what was it? And it was just like Kendall said in our locker room, we were just like, well, it's one game. You just got to just win one game at a time. And that's what they did. And this is what they're doing. Coyne leading the way.
I kept thinking about that last night, man, because we've dogged on Ottawa a little bit here. Ottawa not stepping up, and this game was especially triggering to me as a Leafs fan, Tessa, because the night before I watched the Leafs have the opportunity to clinch and get shut out. Ottawa has the opportunity to clinch. They get shut out. They can't get one goal. It was just disappointing to watch. But we've dogged on Ottawa. Minnesota was excellent in this game. And I love what you just brought up there. They all come into the game. I didn't get the story on the shirts, but I assumed from reading them and knowing the players wearing the shirts that each player was wearing a shirt that said something that they are famous for saying.
Yeah.
Do you know, is that the vibe that you got as well?
Yeah, like, did they get to pick? I didn't know if they got to pick them or if someone picked for them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. If I were to guess, I would say teammates picked.
Yeah. What would you pick for me?
You know?
Yeah.
Probably. What would you pick for me?
I don't know,
awesome.
some cool saying that I don't understand. Yeah, you do say that's awesome a lot.
I just like to feel people to feel like, you know, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I would
so
pick
Minnesota
that's
walks in with
Gucci for you.
Nice. Come on, I don't say that.
I have text messages. Yes, you do, man. I'm always like, okay, Julia.
I know, that's honestly what I'm trying to be cool, which is even more embarrassing. So they all walk into the rink with their matching shirts on and their championship rings that say on the inside, isn't it win one game?
Yeah.
Or just win one game, something to that effect. And that's what they did. Nothing, they didn't look bothered at all. Kelly Panic did an interview with Claire Hanna in the intermission, or maybe it was pregame, and she was like, oh yeah, well, we're just gonna do what we can.
It was first intermission. Yeah, that's it.
Ken Klee, the same thing. When she talked to Ken didn't seem phased at all. He's like, oh, thanks for the interview. Hope it's all good. And Ottawa just looked like they were holding their sticks so hard that they could possibly explode in their hands.
Yeah.
So it was just completely different vibes on either side of the ice. Shout out to the veterans on Minnesota. Not the first time that the veterans have stepped up and pulled them out of the situation.
Yeah.
Lee Stecklin hadn't scored in the PWHL since like March of 2024.
Dude, she opened the scoring for Team USA at the Worlds and scored again in the Steckline's cruising. Anytime goal scorer, pick Steckline.
Yeah, she's cruising offensively right now. So I know that we dogged on Ottawa a little bit there, but it's just so disappointing. So it's hard to say both things. Minnesota played really well in a situation where their backs were up against the wall, and earned that win. But also, Ottawa didn't give them.
I thought
Ottawa
after the
put up
first
6 shots, and I
Yeah.
know you and I were so mad when they put up 0 shots in that third period, and what was also a really pathetic performance. Putting up 6 shots in the third period in a game where you can clinch the playoffs is equally as pathetic and disappointing to me.
Yeah, to be fair, I thought after the first period, I was like, oof, Minnesota's in tough. I don't know if they're going to be able to solve Gwen.
Dude,
And
at
they
one
better
point-
make sure that like they stay out of the box and there's
Yeah.
no random whoopsie. But like the players that needed to play great played great. I thought Sophie Jakes played fantastic. She had
Yep.
some great offensive chances from the back end. That's what makes them such a threat is they have players like this that when they're playing the right way, it's extremely scary and it's hard to defend. You know, you got Jakes, you got Coyne, you got Stecklein, you got Panic, you got Kava. Like you can go down the list. Like Channel on the back end, I like her as a player a lot. And then they got 2 wicked goaltenders that like it's really hard to get a squeaker past.
Dude, we didn't even talk about that. Were you surprised to see Hensley start?
I was, yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
She was amazing.
She was great.
Shout out to Ken Klee for knowing the bench better than we do, because I was
Yeah.
a little bit surprised to see her get the start there. Wow, like what a moment to step up and keep your team season alive.
I don't know that he puts too much thought in it. It's just like, okay, you didn't get the win. All right, your turn. Go ahead. Like I feel
Is that
like
what it
that's what
is?
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's not like I'm picking and thinking and I'm making a decision on how I think you're thinking and feeling. Like it's just like we're not thinking about this.
Maybe
You
we've
win, you carry on, you
reinvented the
lose,
wheel
you
with this sort
swap.
of thing.
Huh?
Maybe we've reinvented the wheel, like as a hockey society, we've reinvented the wheel too much with thinking about what goalie to play when.
Yeah.
Because like, again, I hate to mention this again, but like it's obviously a tumultuous time. I'm a Leafs fan and I'm like, I'm thinking deeply about this today, but maybe there shouldn't be too much thought about it.
Don't think about it.
Yeah.
Don't make it a head case thing. Yeah. But with the win, Minnesota actually helped Toronto earn home ice advantage for the semis as well.
Yeah. And they also put fate back into their own hands, right?
They did. It's
So
crazy.
yeah. We'll talk a little bit about clinching scenarios after we bring in our friend Emma Buckles, my Uber driver, our social media editor, our friend, former PWHL player. Come in, Buckles.
Fits of the week selector.
Come on in. Oh, Fits of the Week selector. Exclusive Fits of the Week selector. Only Buckles
Hey,
pits.
now
but-
I have a
dude.
podcast mic in front of me and I
Tessa,
can speak up.
Tess, I'm actually so glad that you brought that up because people were really mad. Oh, Buckles, I'm so happy you're here for this. People are mad at us this week. They're like, oh, you didn't include Lexi Lafleur. You didn't include Sarah Nurse. And there was one more person too. Lexi
Oh, Zoe
Lafleur,
Boyd. I'm not
Sarah
a huge
Nurse.
Zoe Boyd fan, so
Me neither.
I think
Lexi
leave her
Lafleur,
off.
Zoe Boyd, Sarah
Mhm.
Nurse, and Michaela Grant-Mentis get their own style rankings. We can't put them in every week. We know they have a better outfit than everyone else at every game, but MGM, Sarah Nurse, Lexi, who was the last player I said that I just didn't name on that list? Zoe Boyd, we can't include them anymore. They win too much. So we're trying to like only use 2 of
We
them a
should
week.
just
That's
do
what's
a
going on.
post for those 4 or 5. We should just always do like, hey, this is
Rank
what their
them
outfit
amongst
was
themselves.
this week. Yeah, this is what they were wearing. That's the post.
Here's what the heavy hitters wore this week. And here's everyone else's.
Yeah.
And
then
then
this
general
is-
rankings.
Yeah, and then this is who Buckles picked. Get mad at her.
Yeah, they're all
Oh
Buckles
gosh, guys.
Buckles,
How are
we
we
don't
doing?
have you here to rip on you today. We want to talk draft prospects a little bit more.
Yes,
it is
absolutely.
officially May. We are days, weeks away from seeing the
Coming.
full list of
It's
draft
gonna
eligible
be
prospects who are
May.
going to get picked in Ottawa on June 24th.
hmm I got
See where
2
that
more
was.
for you guys today. You guys good with that?
Ooh, yeah.
Love it.
Okay, let's start off with Natalie Malinkova.
Ooh.
Malinkova.
2001 birth. She played at University of Minnesota this past year, spent most of her collegiate career at University of Vermont, also as a member of Team Czechia. And throughout her college career, she played in 143 games and tallied 131 points. And she was a top point getter for Czechia, tying with Koltunkova this past Worlds, getting 6 points in 7 games. And as most of us know, had one of the most iconic quotes at this World Championships about closing the
100%.
gap. Yeah. So this is a talented forward who knows how to find the back of the net. She's got an absolutely lethal shot. She has a quick release, great at getting the puck off her stick very quickly as well, which is going to translate well to the PWHL. You're not going to have a lot of time and space. And she's doing this really well at the college level. And I think this is going to translate well. She also changes the angle well, deceptive for goaltenders. So when you see her coming down the ice as a goalie, you just don't know what to expect. And she's also a great two-way player. She's defensively sound. She has great poise and playmaking abilities. She opens up lanes for her teammates. And I think best fit. Do you guys have any guesses what I'm going to say for the best fit?
Are you sending her to mini Czechia?
It's hard not to say Ottawa. I think Ottawa needs another go-to goal scorer, and she's got that Czech connection with Mrazka, Venisheva.
And I think her attitude and towards the game and closing the gap and no, we are good enough. I think Ottawa needs that swagger,
absolutely.
that attitude in that locker room. Like, I don't like, let's keep, whatever drama or like grade school dramas going on out the door. We're here to play hockey. Let's go. This is how we're going to do it. That's what I think they need. And that's why I think good choice, Bucks, for her to join that locker room. And I think Venisheva can use someone else with a little bit of fire like that. You know what I mean? Like, she can't be the only one. There's got to be another.
Yeah,
absolutely. 100%. Okay, next up I got Nicole Gosling, 2002 birth, played at Clarkson, and is cousins with Julia Gosling on the Scepters. And in her 176 game collegiate career, tallied 148 points, which is solid for a defender. And what she's really known for is she's reliable and steady. She blocks a ton of shots, gets in lanes. She had like 300 and some blocks throughout her college career. Has a great stick, boxes out well in front of the net, and has a great first pass when exiting. And she has a simple but a very effective game. Someone told me this way back where sometimes it's not the flashiest things, especially on the defender end. She's definitely lays a little bit low key, but she makes smart decisions in both ends of the ice. And you know what? Sometimes she's high key. She gets a couple of game winning goals here and there, and is very clutch in some big moments that I've noticed throughout her gameplay. And has offensive flair. She'll join the attack and has a great one-time shot and also a wrist shot. So she's a dream defender in my opinion.
Did you play against her, Buckles?
I didn't. I might have played my last year against her. But yeah.
Yeah, she played for Canada at the Women's Worlds in Utica.
Yep, exactly.
Last year, Tessa. She's a world champion, like you mentioned, Julia Gosling's cousin. Yeah, I really like that player. I feel like she's really mature for her age. Like her game is really mature and really smart.
New York could use her.
I had to search up. I thought she was super tall because just like the way that she played, like she's got like a good long stick, but she's 5'7", but she plays big out there, and a good fit for her. I don't know, maybe Toronto, maybe get the first family duo in the PWHL.
I thought New York right away, and albeit we aren't including obviously Seattle and Vancouver here because we don't know the identity of their teams yet. So
or how that is going to work.
How it's going to work, really. Toronto, the Gosling. I would like to separate the Goslings.
Yeah, why do you think New York, Tess?
Well, I like the fact that Ella has some great offensive flair. Yeah. I like the fact that Borbs can add to that, but I think you want a solid top 4. And I think having her next to Ella would be fantastic because she's very cerebral hockey player, like Buckles said, that does have an offensive flair to her as well. So Ella can join the rush and go do all the fun things that she wants to do. And Gosling can kind of hang back and just read the play and see how it's developing or whatever. Or if Ella's not going, I feel like she can also jump back door and be a part of the offensive flair. But it would give incredible depth to New York's back end, which I think is imperative if you want to be successful in the playoffs.
Yeah, love that. Buckles, anything else? Like getting pretty fired up for the draft. Oh, we were talking about, Buckles and I were like trying to creep all the players that have posted that they've declared on Instagram.
Yeah. How'd your creeping
There was
go?
one exciting one. Well, it's okay. There was one really exciting one this week. Buckles out of Finland. Do you want to share?
Yes, I gotta pull up.
It's okay.
I think I know how it is. Can I say it?
I was gonna say I gotta
it's
pull
Michelle
up.
Carvinen.
Yeah.
Finland's all-time leading scorer now as of the last World Championships with Jenni Hirikoski out. She took that number 1 spot. I was kind of surprised to see her declare Tessa. Like she's one of those, I think maybe because I think she's like one of those in my head, like I'm talking like literally from my head, just like such an entrenched, almost iconic European player that's been with her team for a while, and like not towards the end of her career, but like definitely at a more mature, like definitely at a very comfortable place in her career, that it is definitely pushing outside of her comfort zone to come over here to North America to play in the best league of the world. But holy man, I'm really excited about it.
Well, think about it. Like, put yourself in her shoes. If you're, which she is, if you're that iconic of a player in Finland, is it not important or imperative to you as an athlete to play in the best league in the world and have that on your resume before you hang them up?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely have
I mean,
to.
like surprised, like with a happy face. Yeah. And I hope it inspires more players to do the same thing. Like the league is just going to keep getting so much better and better, guys. And
so we're keeping our eye out for those draft declarations in the meantime before the list comes out, but we'll keep you guys updated on that.
Yeah. So yeah, we found Hannah Murphy this week, Nicole Gosling, mentioned that, Karvinen, Kelton Kova, Casey O'Brien we already shared, and we'll let you guys know if we see any more of them before that May 8th deadline to declare. Buckles, thank you for everything, driving me around and making all these notes.
Julia, I'm still waiting for my payment after that Uber ride. And also a 5-star rating.
App.
So
okay. Don't forget the tip.
Okay, bye guys.
Paid in the app. Buckles is the best.
Yeah.
I'm pumped for the draft also in Ottawa. I feel like that week in Ottawa is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm pumped for the expansion. I want to know how the expansion draft is going to happen.
I know, and where it's going to be.
Yeah. Day before the draft, who's to know?
I know. I like how people probably think that we know. Like we really have no freaking idea. Like,
you get told literally probably the night before, you know.
Yeah, and then so that's the way of the road. Okay, let's talk about this weekend, Tessa, because it is going to be one of the wildest weekends. We mentioned again, no traditional long form interview on this pod. We had Lexi on, we had CJ on. It was amazing, and now we're going to get into these games. So Toronto, Ottawa, Minnesota, Boston, Montreal, New York, a Saturday triple header to end the season in the PWHL. Have you guys seen this before? Because I
don't know how I'm going to end up doing this.
What do you mean?
How are we going to watch all of these?
I don't know. We're going to be buckled in. I like that they're staggered. I like that we'll see all the highlights. I'm going to have like a 2.5 screen situation. We're going to be buckled in. I'm going to give the clinching scenarios, Tessa, and then we'll go through our FanDuel Friday 5 and we'll talk about who you think's going to win each of these games.
We can even tee up these games if you want. But yeah, is that what you want to do? Okay,
totally. Let's do it. Yeah, you want to do that when we talk FanDuel, maybe?
Yeah. Or whatever. I don't care. You tell me when. I'll follow your lead. You're the boss, Julia.
That's like the furthest thing from the truth. Let's continue. Ottawa has to beat Toronto in regulation on Saturday in order to get into the playoffs. They hold both tiebreakers against Boston and Minnesota in case Boston or Minnesota end up tying them and two teams end up with 44 points. So Ottawa has to beat Toronto. That is definite. A regulation win for Minnesota over Boston would put the Frost in the playoffs regardless of what Ottawa does. So whether they win or lose, Minnesota, with their win over Ottawa on Wednesday night, has put fate back into their own hands. They don't need to rely on anyone else to get in. They just need a regulation win themselves to get their butts in. Toronto, Montreal obviously have both clinched home ice already in the semis, but Toronto could still get top seed in the playoffs with a regulation win if Montreal loses in regulation to New York. New York will, for the second season in a row, officially finish in last place. It was possible for Minnesota to finish in last place before their win against Ottawa. No longer. So New York finishes in 6th for the second year in a row. Let's go through all those games, Tessa. The Battle of Ontario, Saturday. If I see two Battles of Ontario on Saturday, I will be cheering for Ottawa in both of them because I don't believe in the Leafs winning in 7 games. And I kind of want to see 3 Canadian teams in the playoffs. You guys know I love Ottawa Charge fans, and I feel for you guys. Like that was such a hype night in Ottawa to get shut out. Like it was not nice to Charge fans. So I just think that they need more. They deserve more, rather. But I don't know, because Ottawa was in this same exact situation last year. On the last day of the season, Toronto was in the playoffs, and Ottawa had everything to play for, and Toronto prevented them from getting in. Will Ottawa let the same thing happen this year?
Did Toronto prevent them, or did Ottawa miss an opportunity?
Ottawa stubbed their toe. You're so right.
Yeah. So here's your chance. This is your chance. It has nothing to do with Toronto. They're already in. This is everything with you. Like, how bad do you want it? Like, Toronto's not stopping you from doing anything. You're stopping you from doing anything in this game. IMO. So Ottawa is either going to come out and say, we do want the playoffs really bad, and this is how we're going to play. I think Gwyneth Phillips is probably going to have the best game she's ever had, even after the last one where she activated beast mode.
Yeah.
Toronto, though, I mean, think about last year when they got to pick, right? They're in top spot and they got to pick. Didn't work out so well for them. Do you think they're really hungry for that top spot?
No, I don't think so.
know either. I think they're going to rest
feel like
players.
It's a jinx.
I think they're going to rest players, and they're just going to be like, you know what? That's your burden to bear this year, Montreal. That wasn't fun. I feel that.
Is there?
And I'm not saying they're going to go out there and try and lose.
No,
I'm just saying they're going to be strategic. Who needs rest? Like, who's a little dinged up right now? Who could use more ice time?
My only counterpoint as to why, because I'm in the same boat. I'm like just thinking through this myself. I'm in the same boat. If I'm Toronto or Montreal, I'm like, dude, I don't really know if I want first place. It's kind of rancid. But does home ice advantage in both rounds like make up for the rancidness of it?
Yeah, I do. I think so.
I think it's worth playing for. Like, I honestly, I've talked myself into the idea that Toronto might, I don't want to say take their foot off the gas, but to your point, like rest players, like not need to win that Saturday game, but the opportunity
they'll
to get
still coach
first
to win,
place.
and they're going to put players in position when they're out there to be successful and win, but it might not be their top lineup.
Right.
That's what I think.
And Ottawa could lose. You could lose to anyone when you're beating themselves, and that's what happened to Ottawa. Minnesota played well on Wednesday night, but Ottawa put up 6 shots in the third period in a game where they could clinch the playoffs with a win, with 1 point, not with a win.
Yeah,
they had to get that thing to overtime.
Just send it to overtime when it was 1-0. Just get a goal.
Yeah, we almost there wasn't even an opportunity for like Carla to pull the goalie or anything with.
Gwen got out one time, remember, and there was like a big kerfuffle. She fell, all this stuff. Anyways, it'll be interesting to see what happens in that game. And then an hour after that one starts, like, are there going to be iPads on the bench where they're just like score checking?
God, you just have to handle your own business, I think.
Yeah, you're just handling business. But like, also, I would want to know, like, in between periods, like if
Dude,
there's
have you
like
watched the NHL these days? I swear they're watching Backyardigans on there. Like, I'm like, what could you possibly be watching every shift? Like, it's crazy.
Put it away.
So yeah, we might see that fall into the PWHL this weekend.
Think about it. You're going in the locker room intermission, and you're like, okay, I know it's going into the third period in the Ottawa-Toronto game. Like, if there's a Caroline Harvey on my team who's got their phone in their hockey pants, I'm like, yo, bud, what's the score? I know you know. Tell me.
I know you have an AirPod in and you're listening to music right now.
Mid-game, yeah.
What is the score?
Regardless.
We're just listening to the radio broadcast.
Yo, Minnesota does not have it easy. They are in Boston, taking on Boston, who's cruising right now. And it's like, is Frankel going to take this game? Is she going to play in this one? Just get a game in before?
Have you heard anything?
How's her noodle? Don't know. Sent a text. Crickets. So it's like, regardless, they're still going to have to work for it. Like, Minnesota's got a really hard game. Their last 2 games have been on the road. One in Ottawa, what a stressful game. They managed to get it. Sure, they're riding high, but now you're in Boston. You're playing in Lowell.
Yeah.
And
end of the season, like, those fans are fired up. Those fans in Boston want it so bad this year.
That's the thing. And you got a team that's like really gearing up and about to kick it into 6th.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, please, we just want to make the playoffs. Like, Minnesota's got to have their best game of the season right now. This needs to be Minnesota's best game they've played all year long. Who's in net for Minnesota?
Who's in net for Minnesota? Great question, Tessa. Who
Hensley
is?
Hensley again. She won.
I think
stick her back in. That's the equation. Sorry, we're not thinking about it. You guys are dictating it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And sorry if your team played bad in front of you and they lost. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. Next up, go. I think that's what it is. So Hensley will be back, I think.
Wow. Yeah, that's going to be a big one. Just thinking about the fact that Minnesota hoisted a Walter Cup in front of Boston fans on that ice. Yeah,
So, like, how badly do you think Boston just wants to stomp on the opportunity for them?
to just
You know what I mean?
Yeah, enjoy golf season. That's what Boston's hoping for
Yeah,
Minnesota.
these are the storylines. These are the things that you write in the headlines because these players read stuff. If they
Oh,
tell you
yeah.
they don't, they're full of it.
Oh yeah. Montreal and New York is really interesting on Saturday too because it should be Montreal, right?
Yeah.
Shouldn't
Well-
it? Except it's in New York. It's a home game. They're giving away bucket hats, guys.
Yeah.
If you are in the New York area and you're feeling down about your team and you don't want to go to the last game, adjust your attitude and go get your bucket hat because I honestly have FOMO about not getting a New York Sirens free giveaway bucket hat. I think it might be the best free giveaway that we've done in the PWHL so far are these bucket hats. So make sure you get out to that last Sirens game because I don't know what's going to happen in that one. Like, no one likes to play spoiler. We've said it 1,000 times. I
Yes, New
feel
York
dumb
does.
even saying it again. New York loves to play
loves the
spoiler.
villain. Give it to them.
Yeah.
They're going to play villain because they know that if Toronto beats Ottawa, Toronto gets first place. And they know that Montreal wants first place pretty bad. You heard Pooh address their fans on Fan Appreciation Night. She's like, we're going to go away. We're going to come back here and we're going to get after it. Like, we're going to get it. Let's go. And the fans were like, woo.
It was so epic.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to our FanDuel Friday 5. We've broken down the games. Let's see what the odds are. FanDuel will make every moment more with FanDuel. Okay, full odds for this weekend, guys, are available. If you guys are betting people, like throw down, have a fun little parlay, pick some anytime goal scorers, like really have some fun with this because this is going to be an extremely fun weekend of women's hockey. Toronto, Ottawa, the noon game is actually really close. Toronto, slight favorites at -114 on the money line. Ottawa is -105 on the money line. Tessa, where do you sit Ottawa's fortunes this season?
I don't think Ottawa punches their ticket this season, unfortunately. I want them to. Don't get me wrong. I want them in there. I think it would be great, not only for their locker room, but for the growth of the program. It'd be great for Carla. I think it would be like a moment where, okay, you punch your ticket. The team could just say like, okay, forget everything. Like nothing matters anymore. We're in the playoffs. Like this is what we're doing. And I think that's what the team needs. Do they have it in them to get there? After I saw the game against Minnesota, I don't know. Like that was on home soil. You're at home.
Some of the best fans in the league. Like they put on an absolute show too. There are fans lined up outside the building to welcome them in the arena. Like, come on, guys, get a goal.
But the Scepters could not play their full lineup. They could have players out. So I'm still going to pick Toronto in this one. My anytime goal scorer for Toronto is going to be Daryl Watts. She's my pick. Yes. And for Ottawa, my anytime goal scorer is going to be, who did I have here? Oh, Vanisheva.
Nice. Your fave.
Yeah. She's my fave. I pick her every time.
Love that. And
because
you got Ottawa winning.
She's got the spunk and the anger that like we need to win, and who's going to be the straw that's stirring this drink for this team? It's going to be her. Who else?
Yep.
Who else is going to light that fire?
Yeah, she has been. Or Gwyneth Phillips maybe throwing the body behind the net.
Yeah,
those two people.
Sick.
Minnesota, Boston, 1:00 on Saturday. Boston, the favorites -134 on the money line, and remember, Minnesota needs a win to get into the postseason.
I think Boston doesn't let Minnesota make the playoffs. Like I just think I don't think it's going to be anything bad about Minnesota, playing a bad game or anything like that. I just think Boston is of the attitude where they remember last season, and it would make them so happy just to squash Minnesota's playoff dreams, right? Because think about it. I don't even want, as a coach, I wouldn't even want to rest players and risk the fact of Minnesota getting in and doing what they did last playoffs again. Why risk that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Just don't even get to the playoffs. Don't let them squash it. That's what I'm thinking.
At the same time, I'm honestly like the hockey gods. They're like, you can't squeak in 2 years in a row and make a deep run. Like you have to make this more convincing.
I don't know.
I'm sure they can.
Yeah. But then again, the Boston's got the right attitude. They've got that tude. And I'm here for it. I'm big Boston fan, My anytime goal scorers in this game, for Boston, Jamie Lee Rattray. She's been playing so great. And I just a big fan. Her and Belka would be my two for Boston. And for Minnesota, my two goal scorers are Schofield and Zummy. Zumwinkle needs to score. If Zumwinkle scores in this game, I'm telling you, Minnesota will win. Because where has Zummy been? Go tell me the last time Zummy scored a goal. They need Zumwinkle to catch fire. We know Kava can find the back of the net. We know Heise's going to try and set things up. Coyne Schofield already proved to us she's going to come in and score goals when she has to. Steckline, my goodness, she's just like, sure, I'll lead the way. But it's like, come on. Who else do you guys need? You need Zumwinkle.
Yeah, March 16th at New York was the last time Zummy got on the board. So Tessa's calling it. If Grace scores, the Minnesota Frost will win. I kind of like that idea. I'm into it. Montreal, New York. This one is so interesting. Montreal minus 146 on the money line. You guys like making money? Because I feel like we've been screaming that we like New York at this game. But we're also going to look like such fools if they don't win.
They have to win this game.
New York?
No, Montreal. You have to win this game heading into the playoffs. You have to.
Yeah, I think so too.
Don't go in the playoffs limping. And I don't want to say it's limping after beating Boston in overtime, but like come out with a convincing win.
Yeah, they let Boston back in that game though too.
That's true. Secondary scoring, get after it. PP2, keep doing what you do. They have the over-under at 4.5, which is pretty high to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the under on that one. I'm going to take a 3-1 win. For whom? Don't know.
You don't want this one, eh? It's rancid.
I don't want it.
No, I don't want it either, dude. It feels too obvious both ways. Because if Montreal win, it's like, of course Montreal wasn't going to lose to New York on the last day of the season. But then if New York wins, it's like, of course, New York was going to beat Montreal and play spoiler. Both answers seem obvious, which makes me respect your decision not to pick this game.
Yeah. And I think too, like everyone's like, oh, New York's out and sure playing spoiler, whatever. But like, this is still, these games are still tryouts. Like you're still showcasing yourself because there's 2 expansion teams that are
so true
that are going to need players. So it's in your best interest to play your best hockey until the final game. And also like, I feel like there's no pressure on you. So you get to play a little bit more free. And the game becomes a little bit more fun when players play like that, they become more dangerous. Players like Sarah Fillier and Jessie Eldridge and Abby Rock and all of them. I don't know. I'm going to pick
Sarah Fillier is actually getting, I think it's the losing this year, but her and Carpenter are starting to get the same aura to them. Like
really?
Philly used to be so bubbly, and now I feel like she has carpy face a little bit. She's got such a grumpy face going. I like it though. I think it's mean. I think it could be very, very good thing.
She had grumpy face in Utica.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Anyways, I'm going to pick Montreal in this one. My anytime goal scorers, they have Ella Shelton at plus 900. I'm taking that all day, every day. How? You're making a ton of money on that. Put money on Ella Shelton. And then I'm going to go Abby Boreen finds the back of the net before the playoffs for Montreal, just to let her coach know, don't worry, I've been saving these up for the playoffs. Here's one of them.
Nice, because that's when she steps up big in those big moments.
Mm-hmm.
I love that, guys. Tessa, what a day. Like, we're just buzzing around today, eh? We're doing a lot of talking. Thank you guys for listening. We love you all so much. Thank you to our sponsors, SharkNinja, Pizza, CCM, for helping us put this on every week. Thank you to our guests, Carly Jackson, Lexi Lafleur Brown. Thank you guys so much for coming on and for making our show fun, and thank you guys for listening every week. Like, this is the time of the season that we live for as hockey fans, and it could not get any better than it's going to get this weekend in the PWHL. Saturday, triple header, everything on the line for Boston and Minnesota and Ottawa. So we'll see what happens, and we'll talk to you Tuesday to tee up the playoffs. That seems crazy. Follow us on social, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook, wherever you want to find us. Just look up Jocks and Gels and we'll be there. Bye.